Patients Getting Paid is a membership community that I'm creating to help people with chronic illness learn how to find or create flexible remote work to better accommodate their health. I'll be sharing my experience of having to leave my job thanks to MS and putting together an online business and patient advocacy gigs that I do from anywhere: my bed, recliner, hospital infusion center, a beach, and it allows me to take better care of myself. When I figured it out, I wanted to share it with other chronics. Get on the waiting list today to be sure you get in when I launch it, which is going to be very soon. Sign up at patientsgettingpaid.com/list. Welcome to the FUMS Now podcast show, where you'll gain information, inspiration, and motivation for living your best life with multiple sclerosis. Find us online at FUMSnow.com. I'm your host, Kathy Reagan Young. My guest today is a return guest. It's Alene Brennan from episode 17, where she talked about being an autoimmune health coach. Be sure to go back and listen to that one too. Alene is a certified nutrition coach, natural food chef, yoga instructor, and personal trainer who helps people with autoimmune disease heal through diet and lifestyle. Oh, and by the way, she also has MS and migraines. She's amazing and has a ton of passion to help people. It was her tagline that first caught my attention. It's less farm, PHARM, more table. Isn't that great? Anyway, today she's here talking about essential oils and their benefits for MSers. I learned a ton in this interview. I hope you enjoy hearing it as much as I did recording it. Let's go give it a listen. Welcome back, Alene. Thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited to be back with your community here.
Yay. Thank you again. So, okay, this time we're talking essential oils. I have to be honest here. When I first heard about essential oils, I thought it was bullshit, like a gimmick, another MLM opportunity and nothing else. But several years ago, I took my daughter to the pediatrician. She'd been virtually staying sick all winter, and I asked the doctor if she had any suggestions that we could try to get and keep her healthy. And she said, essential oils. She actually gave me a bottle of like an oil blend to support immune health. And damn if it didn't help. We diffuse lots of oils in our house now. I just love the smell of lavender or lemon. So sometimes I just do that. And some like that immune boosting oil, particularly during, the winter season. We're diffusing that all the time. So that's my essential oil story. What's yours?
Yeah, absolutely. I originally just had the association with essential oils from the yoga studio or going into a spa for a massage. You
Yeah.
go,
Oh, it
yoga
smells so
has
good.
that, oh gosh, it's so good. Yoga had kind of like that frankincense or patchouli type
Yes.
aroma. And then a spa has the lavender and eucalyptus.
Yes.
And I loved the aroma of them. And then kind of that association that I became to develop with that aroma. But it wasn't until I really was having challenges with my health that I turned to essential oils for a therapeutic perspective. Because I think similar to you, I kind of looked at them more as just like an extra.
Smell goods. Yeah.
We have candles in the house. Some people that do
Right.
essential oils, they're all nice.
Yeah.
But I never really understood how you can use them from a therapeutic perspective. And then I started to look into them more, and I started to look at them the same way that I looked at food. That, these are plant-based resources that we have that can support our body in a healing process. So they quickly became part of my healing journey, both with migraines and then, of course, later my diagnosis of MS. And then I've gotten great results from getting relief from the symptoms. And now I really work closely with the autoimmune community to help them figure it all out as well.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are going to be really basic questions because I have limited experience, honestly, because I've only really diffused the oils, but you can actually ingest them, right? And put them on your skin. Are there other ways to use them as well?
There are three ways that you can use essential oils, three kind of like general categories.
Okay.
The first is you can use them aromatically. So that's kind of what we're talking about. Like maybe you walk into a yoga studio or a spa and they have it diffusing.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you're not only getting the benefit of the beautiful smell,
Yeah.
but what is so fascinating is that the part of your brain that processes aromas and scents is directly next to the part of your brain that processes emotions and trauma and memory and all of these different things. So that's why you may have heard that essential oils or aromatherapy can be really beneficial to support mood management.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
That's making
so
sense now.
yeah, so they smell good and
Yeah.
they're going to help to, boost the mood a little bit. And
Right.
then when you're diffusing them in the air, as you had talked about, kind of that experience you had with your daughter, you can diffuse those type of oils and help to purify the air. So I think so many of us have seen that image of somebody coughing or sneezing and the germs travel so far in
Yes.
the air. Yeah,
Yes.
so diffusing them can help to purify that air. So aromatically is the first way. The second way you can use essential oils is topically. And that's putting an essential oil on your skin. And it helps, it can, absorb through your skin and circulate throughout your body. They can actually hit almost every cell in your body within 20 minutes, which is pretty
Wow.
cool.
Yeah.
So topically, that's that's an easy way to get started. The bottoms of your feet are
Yes.
the least sensitive, but most porous. So you can certainly apply them. And I love doing something like that at night, applying a nice oil on the bottoms of my feet. And then the last way, as you had mentioned, is internally. Now with internal, you just want to make sure that you have a really good quality essential oil. Not all essential oils can be taken internally. So you just need to know that it's a food grade oil and a good quality source. Yeah.
Food grade. Okay. Okay. Interesting. You just said earlier about the place in your brain, that sort of absorbs the aromas, for lack of a better term, is right next to your sort of memories. And it's interesting you say that, because just yesterday, my daughter said to me that she passed an older gentleman and he smelled like, well, she called him Bumpa, my dad.
Yeah.
And it just made her smile. He must have been wearing the same cologne, and it just made her smile. And I just watched her mood shift. She was just, it's just really interesting how smells can really change your mood. And
it's so true.
I've always thought retail stores that light candles or diffuse essential oils are so smart, because all of your senses should be involved. And, if you're happy and in a good mood, you're going to spend more. So tip for all you retailers out there, diffuse some oil.
There you go.
All right. So how are essential oils made? Like, do they actually press oil out of the plants, or how does that work?
It's such a good question. Where do these oils come from?
Yeah, right. I'm looking at my rosemary plant going, how do I get that out of there?
So let's take that. That is a perfect example, because so many of us have had that experience with fresh herbs.
Yes.
Where you run your hand again, or you're either chopping them or even just rub your hand up against the basil, peppermint, thyme, rosemary leaf, and all of a sudden you get that strong aroma. That is the essential oil that is coming out of that plant. Yet when you look at your hands, there's no oil that's transferred.
Right.
So you're like, wait a minute, what's happening here?
Magic.
Yeah, magic. Yeah, plant magic. So the essential oils are in these plants. They're in the leaves, the flowers, the resin, the bark, all kinds of different parts of aromatic plants. But the essential oils are in teeny tiny sacs. You can't even see them with the naked eye. You can only see them under a microscope. So what's happening when you rub your hand up against that herb leaf, that essential oil sac is being broken open, and they're what's known as volatile aromatic compounds, meaning that they evaporate easily.
Mm.
So the touch of your hand breaks that oil sac open, and
Mm-hmm.
it starts to evaporate, hence why
Yeah.
you start to get that aroma.
Yeah.
But because it's such a small, teeny tiny sac, that's why you need a
It doesn't
large
last.
amount. Yeah,
Yeah.
you need a large amount of plant material to get an actual drop of essential oil. So
Mm.
that's really where, when you can imagine, if you're gathering like that amount of plant material, that's why they have those therapeutic benefits.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Gotcha.
I can't remember if I've shared this with you before, but one drop of peppermint oil is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So we can, yeah,
Holy
we can
cow.
visualize 28 cups of tea
Yeah.
and how that may help to, like settle some indigestion or,
Right.
like an upset stomach. Now you're getting all those benefits through one drop
A
of
drop.
essential oil.
Wow. That's efficient. That is
Yeah.
really efficient. I like that. Huh. All right. So I've also heard of carrier oils. What is, I always hear that term, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah, so a carrier oil is a neutral oil. So one of the ones that is most commonly used with essential oils is fractionated coconut oil. Now, we're all familiar with the coconut oil that we get from the grocery store or the
Right.
health food store.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in that solid state at room temperature,
Yeah.
depending upon the time of year. Summertime, it might be a little
Right.
bit
Right.
softer. But fractionated coconut oil takes some of those fatty acids out so
Mm-hmm.
that it's liquid temperature, or excuse me, it's liquid at room temperature. So it
Okay.
never like solidifies. So the reason why you would want a carrier oil is because sometimes people have more sensitive skin than others. So they want to help to dilute the essential oil. So you
Mm-hmm.
would mix an essential oil with a carrier oil, such as coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil, and apply it to the skin. So it can make it a little bit easier or softer on the skin.
Mm-hmm.
Some people also find that it's actually more therapeutic to use an essential oil with a carrier oil because it really helps to absorb it better into the skin.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
topically is when you use
yeah,
that. Yeah, got it.
yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. How do you use essential oils, both for your MS and your migraines, in just like your daily life?
Yeah, so I think it's first important to keep in mind that essential oils are an extension of that overall healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, as always, and, like anybody listening to this podcast, all of your viewers know that, we have to focus on our nutrition and good quality sleep and managing stress and all the things. We try not to
Right.
get stressed out by being
Right.
healthy.
Exactly.
But it is important that we can't necessarily say that essential oils are going to be like the magic bullet as I'm like going through my drive-through of fast food.
Exactly. So you can't pick up McDonald's, stay up late, shooting back tequila, and expect essential oils are going to straighten everything
Right.
out for you. Okay.
So,
Got it.
but they are one more tool that we
Yeah.
have, and as a fellow MSer, somebody living with a chronic illness. Anytime we have an opportunity to have something that's within our control and within our home to support our health, it's
Mm-hmm.
so
Bonus.
empowering.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
huge.
exactly. There's not
Yeah.
a lot of control with this disease. So if you can find
Right.
something where you can feel some control, that is empowering. I agree.
Yeah. So I try to use them to support my overall lifestyle. So
Mm-hmm.
I know that sleep is incredibly important,
Yes.
both with, a chronic illness, with migraines, with living.
Yeah.
So I really try to say, okay, I know that I need to get some good quality sleep, and essential oils are going to support my body with relaxing, helping to quiet that mind down at night.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my most favorite ways to use them, to really create a beautiful environment in the bedroom for relaxation. So I love diffusing lavender and frankincense. I love putting vetiver on the soles of my feet.
Never
So
heard of that
that's
one.
Yeah,
Ever.
that's
Okay.
one more of like kind of like an earthy
Mm-hmm.
aroma, but
Mm-hmm.
it's good.
Very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
So I know we both know this well, but MSers are particularly prone to, anxiety, depression, fatigue, constipation, cog fog, sleep issues, all the fun stuff. So can we take each of those and have you address them in terms of how essential oils could help with each of
Yes.
those symptoms?
Yeah, and I think that that is what is so beneficial about them is that each person has such a variety of different symptoms, and they can pop up and then go away, and then you have
Yes.
another one that comes up tomorrow, and you're like,
It's
"What's up?"
whack-a-mole. It is whack-a-mole. Yeah. So how can we whack these things with essential oils?
Yeah, so there are some general categories that you can
Mhm.
use that I can share with you.
That'd be great.
And then keeping in mind that certain essential oils are going to resonate with one person more so than another. So just like
Just like
food,
MS.
yep, somebody may thrive on a vegetarian or vegan diet, and
Yeah,
then the next person thrives on a paleo diet.
right.
And they are
Gotcha.
both healthy foods, but it's just different for each person. So that's kind of like similar with oils.
Got
And
it.
that's why I think it's so helpful to work with somebody who's not only experienced with oils, but also autoimmune disease that can really help the individual kind of navigate that.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
said, like I said, there are some general properties and benefits that you're going to get from oils. So,
hmm
floral oils, that is your rose, your lavender, your magnolia, those are very calming.
Agreed.
So if right, like you smell that, and you're like, oh,
Yes.
like just
Right.
take that deep breath.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So that's one that if you're looking to support emotions and really whether you're have like feelings where you're starting to get like a little anxious,
Yeah.
that would be a really nice time to diffuse some floral oils. I also love using floral oils as a perfume because I know
Yeah.
that, like our perfumes, the reality, if you've ever watched the documentary Stink, it's like eye-opening to say the least.
Oh,
There's
I've
not a
never heard of
fragrance.
that, but
Oh, you
I've
got to
never
check
heard
it
of
out.
that. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. And by the way, I'll put a link in the show notes to that as well. So everybody can check that out. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
fantastic. So we know that some like perfumes have negative effects on the body. So it's another way to use the essential oils where you're getting a nice aroma in
Mm.
place of that perfume. But oh, by the way, you're also going to be helping to stay calm throughout the day.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
floral is very calming. Mint oils, like
Mhm.
our peppermint, our spearmint, they're going to be more energizing.
Okay.
So if that's when, like there's certain times of day or all day
Yeah.
when your
Right.
energy is low,
Right. Hello, fatigue.
that's a great time to diffuse some peppermint oil.
Okay. Good.
Or you can apply it topically. And then citrus oils are going to be very uplifting. I think of them as like the sunshine oil. So, like lemon and wild
Yeah.
orange. And you can actually combine the two, both peppermint and wild orange. I love the combination of those
Mm.
two together. It's very uplifting, it's very energizing. So that's a
Yeah.
nice one to give you a boost from kind of that fatigue and sluggish feeling.
Yeah.
And then tree oils are going to be very grounding. And these are the ones that I find to be really helpful in times when I may be feeling like, the mind's a little bit scattered or you want to be grounded. You
What?
want
You
to,
have that? I've never heard of
no,
that. Your mind is scattered? I don't understand that. Yeah. So cog
something
fog.
that no one's ever experienced before.
Right.
Yeah. And that's one where in the moment, that's what I think I love so much about the oils is that in the moment, there is something that you can do to support your body. Food
Right.
is amazing. And I'm a nutrition coach, so I'm going to promote food.
Right.
But that's something that, it takes a little bit of time to get the benefits from that. With the
Right.
essential oils, you can diffuse them or apply them topically, and you're feeling benefits almost instantly.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. That's so cool. What are some tree oils? Because I don't think I'm
Yeah,
familiar with
so
that.
frankincense
Okay.
is kind of one of the big ones
Yeah.
from there. They
Yeah.
also, there's a lot of like blended oils that you can use, but vetiver, I don't know if that's an actual tree or like a
Mm-hmm.
plant,
Mm-hmm.
but it's one that is very anchoring. It's
Oh, okay.
very like very earthy, kind of has that grounded feeling to it
Very
as
cool.
well.
All right, so I'm thinking of what I need to diffuse when my teenage daughters are around. I'm getting some good ideas. I'll have it diffusing before they come home, and then we can actually
It's
have calm conversation, perhaps.
It's so funny you say that because when I am working with individuals, again, I work a lot with individuals with MS and autoimmune disease and help them kind of create their own oil protocol. But
Hmm.
inevitably, like conversations like that come up of
Yeah.
like, but what about my family? And I'm like, okay, guess what? We're going to use these. And you don't even have to worry about getting buy-in from the family because they don't know any different
Yeah.
other than that it's just like a replacement for a candle. But
Right.
oh, by the way,
It
the
smells
kids are
good in
getting,
this house,
yeah,
and I'm so calm. We're fighting less.
you
They
can
don't need to
even,
know. Oh, I
yep,
love that.
you can even take a cotton ball and put a couple drops of essential oil on it and then tuck it in the air vent of your car so that if like
Oh,
everybody needs calm down or everyone needs
oh
like a little
yes.
cheer to their day.
Right. Oh, and you gave me such a great tip last time I talked to you too about your the vents, your
Air
HVAC.
filter.
Yes, the air filter
Yes.
when you change that.
Yeah, you
Just
can definitely put a nice aroma on that, like one that's a little bit more purifying or cleansing. And you just put a drop or two on there. And it just helps to kind of get it pumping throughout the home as
circulates.
well.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
brilliant. I love that. I love that. Okay, so all right, there are several, big essential oil companies, and their oils can be pretty expensive. Of course, now this is starting to make more sense to me now, knowing how much
Mm,
plant material it takes to produce a drop. But I believe you're associated with doTERRA, right?
yes. Yeah.
Right. Well, my daughter just recently found essential oils in the dollar store. So, what's the difference? I mean, why pay so much more? Is there really a difference in the oils themselves?
It's such a good question because the reality is, as individuals living with chronic illness, we need to stretch every dollar we can because
Truth.
it can be expensive.
Yes.
So I am all for, and just chronic illness aside, I'm all for a sale or a bargain.
Yes.
There are certain things that we need to keep in mind that you get what you pay for, and essential oils are definitely in that category.
Gotcha.
So what we're finding is that so many people are looking for more natural alternatives to support their health. And
Yeah.
many people are finding great benefits with essential oils. So, because this movement has really gotten a lot of traction and gaining tremendous momentum, more companies are trying to get into the market, so to speak. So,
Hmm.
companies that are not essential oil companies are trying
Gotcha.
to add it in as another
Yeah.
service line. But what's happening is they are just trying to put a product on the shelf at a low cost that they can help to bring in some more money.
Right.
Unfortunately, many of those oils that they're putting on the shelves, not only in the dollar store, but even in some health food stores, are not true essential oils. They're
Mm.
actual perfumes.
Oh, geez.
So there's a way in which they can adulterate the oil, it's known as, so they can put like different synthetic fillers in there or different perfumes that will make it smell like that particular oil, but that's not what is actually inside the bottle. And
Mm.
and that's why if you're using them from a therapeutic perspective, you're then putting yourself at risk of getting a highly concentrated drop of
Yeah.
chemicals
Yeah.
instead of essential oil.
You need, you need a purified oil, is what you need.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
where it's helpful to connect with somebody again who has that guidance and knowledge and who can share with you like details on the sourcing of the oils makes a
Yeah.
difference.
Hmm.
I can grow lavender in my backyard
Right.
and I can, extract it and call it pure essential oil. However, my lavender is not meant to be grown in the backyard of my Mount Laurel home in New Jersey. It's just not. That's not where it naturally thrives.
Yeah.
So if you're getting the plants from the environment in which they naturally thrive, with the soil and the climate and the precipitation, like all of those things support the oil in having a more densely therapeutic effect. So you want to know the sourcing, and you want it of the plants, and you also want to know the processing, that they haven't put anything else in it.
Wow.
One other thing I'll add is many people look at the essential oils and it's the same size bottle,
right?
But the price is different. So they'll look at something like lemon or peppermint, and they say, okay, like that's like $15-$20 for a 250 drop bottle of oil. And then they look next to it, and there's a bottle that's about a third of that size for, say, rose oil, and it's $75.
Yeah.
Like, how does this make sense? It's a third of the size, but it's like 4 or 3 times the cost.
Yeah.
But to your point, when you had mentioned like it all making sense now, when you think about the cost of lemons or peppermint leaves versus the cost of roses, the amount of plant material that you need is what drives the cost of it.
Gotcha.
So it should raise a red flag if you're getting a high, like a pricier oil like rose or frankincense, for a really like questionably low price,
rock bottom prices.
Right.
Yeah. And, right. So, and frankincense, as I recall, is like one of the most expensive. Is that correct?
It's up there. I mean, there's definitely some that are a little bit higher, but frankincense is known as the king of all oils. Like, I love to say, like, when you don't know what to do, use frankincense because it's just one of those that just is so versatile.
Broad spectrum.
Yes. Yeah. So I love using that.
Yeah. Very cool. So have there been any clinical studies done on essential oils that you know of? That'd be like that'd be just super interesting and really, I guess, lend credibility. Although I've learned so much from you today. I feel like it's really credible now. I just needed to ask my questions. This is so good.
And I think that they're great questions to ask, especially when we are looking to use them to support our health. So to answer your question, I mean, PubMed has more than like 20,000 studies on essential oils.
Wow.
So you can either look up, I always encourage people, like PubMed is a great resource just to go to. You can look something up based on the name of the essential oil, like lavender. So you can like type in lavender and migraines, peppermint and migraines. Or you could find the chemical constituent within each oil. Now, this is definitely kind of like next tier, but you're going to open it up to even more studies where they say, okay, we're not just looking at lavender, we're looking at the chemical makeup of lavender.
Gotcha.
So you'll find a tremendous amount of studies for sure. There, in terms of like studies specifically connecting essential oils and autoimmune disease, that is, essential oils are kind of like newer to be studied, even though there's more than 20,000 done. But autoimmune is a little bit newer on the block. So the combination of the two, you're not going to find quite as a broad platform of studies. But what I like to do is then break it down to say, okay, let me look at like more symptoms. So pain and fatigue, all those different things. And that's where you can really help to navigate. Yeah,
that makes sense. Okay, this is going back, but this is the way my head works. So in comparing the oils, the cheaper ones, are they required to have a listing of ingredients, or does that not fall under?
Unfortunately, the regulatory system over essential oils is not. It's like not there. It's not what it needs to be.
It's not required. Gotcha.
No, and that's the frustrating part is that you can't just trust because it's on the shelf.
Right.
That therefore it's safe.
Right.
And again, like you can look at it and you can say, okay, it says 100% pure therapeutic, like, or
Right.
100%
But it
essential
says,
oil. Yeah. I actually had somebody come to a workshop of mine. And at the end, she came up and she had this kit of essential oils. And she's like, I asked for them for my husband from Christmas. And she says, and this is what I got.
oh
And
no.
she was like, looks so defeated.
Oh no.
And she said, it's, we looked at it and it was one
Right.
that was from like TJ Maxx or Marshalls or like something along
Sure.
those lines, that she got like 10 oils for $20.
Of course.
And we looked and
Thank
it
you,
all
honey.
looked like it was legit. I know. She
God,
looks,
it was probably bought the night before too. I'm just going to say.
probably. So we looked through them and they were all labeled like pure essential oils. But then when first of all, we compared, I brought out the doTERRA lavender and then her lavender, and you could just smell such a difference. She's like,
Wow.
mine smell like chemicals. And then we looked on the back and sure enough, there was an actual ingredient list that listed perfume. So what I love about doTERRA's oils is that on the bottom of every single bottle, there is a number that you can enter in to a third-party website and see full transparency of the sourcing of their oils.
Oh,
so
very
you can
cool.
see, the sourcing of it, and then you can also see the makeup of that particular batch of oils. So they go through, I think it's like 7 layers of testing with each batch of oil.
Wow.
And that's where that's where I become passionate about making sure, again, high quality oils, whether, again, I use doTERRA, if somebody chooses to use them or not, just do your research. That's my message.
Well, and now we know what to, how to research. This has been phenomenally helpful. Thank you so much. It's really, little education goes a long way. I don't think it's bullshit anymore. Yay! I really appreciate you sharing this with the FUMS community today. But I know essential oils is not the only thing that you do, my friend. Why don't you share some of your other endeavors?
Yeah. So I'm a nutrition coach, certified in the Walls Protocol, and I work primarily with individuals with MS and autoimmune disease, helping them to use diet and lifestyle to manage their symptoms. And what I hear from people so often is that they love the idea of using diet and lifestyle, whether it's independent of or in conjunction with, conventional medicine. They like the idea of turning to that, but they're so overwhelmed.
Oh my God, no kidding.
How to start.
Yes, there's different articles every day on different diets and different this and different that, and
and some of them align, some of them are contradictory.
Yes.
So I help to kind of like boil all of that down. I work with clients one-on-one, but then I also have a group coaching program that has a really fun community. So so cool. I can work with people in both capacities there.
And I can speak from experience that Alene is no shamer. There's no shame in your game in front of Alene. I have eaten with her.
Oh goodness!
And she didn't give the side eye to my heaping plate once, or the time I went back for 2 brownies, whatever. No side eye.
I'll never judge you as long as you never judge me.
Okay,
and we're all in a happy place.
Deal. Sounds good. So, if people want to learn more about you and what you do, or ask you any questions, where can they find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, my website is alenebrennan.com. And I can certainly give you the link that you can share with people for the spelling of all that. But I'm also on Instagram. I love sharing kind of like my life, living the Walls Protocol, living in the essential oil life. So I'm A-Brenn, A-B-R-E-N-N on Instagram. And I'm also running a mini course on how to use essential oils as part of the MS and autoimmune community. And I would love to invite your FUMS community to be part of that and offer them the opportunity to be part of that for free. So I know you're always looking to hook your community up. And if I can support you in doing so, I'm happy to do so.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate that. And just a reminder for anybody that either forgot or any new listeners, I take the notes for you. So don't worry about it. I got you, boo. All of these notes, all of these clickable links will be in the show notes on FUMSnow.com/podcast. So, you've been here before. You know what's coming next, right?
I do. I love it. I'm ready.
All right, you ready? Okay. So here we go. Here in the FUMS Nation, we talk to the stupid diseases it deserves, and we tell it FUMS every day. If you would please raise your middle finger in salute to MS and say it with me on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
FUMS.
Yeah, that was a good one. And I just want to let everybody know I truly do have my middle finger extended when I say that. That's like I really am. It's not. And you should too. All right.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Alene. I hope to hear from you again real soon.
Thank you so much. Great opportunity talking with you.
Take care.
Wasn't that interesting? Alene always delivers great information. And speaking of great information, have you signed up for the FUMS Friday Night 6-Pack yet? It's an email you'll receive every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern with the top 6 topics in MS from that week. Sign up at FUMSnow.com/get-the-scoop. Sending a shout out of thanks to my wonderful podcast editor, Steve Woodward of podcastingeditor.com. If you have a podcast or want to start one, Steve's the best in the business. He's running some amazing specials right now to help people dip their toes into the world of podcasting. So head to podcastingeditor.com right now. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you listening to the FUMS Podcast Show. Be sure to subscribe to it so you won't miss an episode. You can do that right on the website at FUMSnow.com. While you're there, sign up for the free email list so you'll be among the first to know of any new findings in MS research, new therapies and products, as well as any blog posts and podcast episodes I release. Want to chat with others in the FUMS community? Join us on Facebook at FUMS Now. Thanks again, and don't forget to talk to the stupid disease as it deserves. Tell it FUMS every day.